Chapter 16. Hang on. How? Are you ready to go? I asked. I walked into the kitchen. The black-haired boy leaned against the wooden countertops with a tired expression. I can't blame him, though. For the past 6 days, we've gone out and hunted zeros. I'm sure he's probably sick of it by now. I'd have to say that I'm pretty glad, though. I might be tired, but I'm not afraid of the zeros anymore. And I think I got the hang of fighting with one hand. John, you don't completely think through your decisions. Take this food up to Alice. She hasn't left her room since Eve mentioned birdies. How she utterly hates me. Anything I do ends up getting me hurt, I sighed. It has been nice not being her test subject. Hal's crazy if he thinks I'm doing anything for that witch. This is why I'm making you do it. We won't be going out anyway. We got the money for Eve's gummies. Just in time, too. She's becoming stir-crazy and it's driving me up a wall, he growled. He stood fully and grabbed his guitar case. Food's in the fridge, though I'm not sure how good it will be. Eve made it. There are many things that girl can do, but cooking is not one of them. I heard that, Eve yelled from upstairs. It is vile, woman. Bite me. It would taste better than the stuff you make, he replied. I think she's trying to poison me. He sighed under his breath, just loud enough for me to hear. The food I've eaten wasn't that bad, I pointed out. You've been eating vegetables raw. You realize this, and you can't bite directly into a potato? Though it was funny watching you try, he laughed. That only happened once, I spat. I didn't even know what a potato was, let alone how to cook one. I crossed my arms in spite. They must think this is really funny, but at a time they were all like this. Look, just knock and leave it out her door. You'll be fine. I have to go before the shops in District 4 close, Hal said. He left with that, leaving me with the girls. Alice still scares me, but I don't want her to starve. Wait, if she's been there for 6 days, how is she not dead? Or is she? I walked to the fridge opening, to see the shelves mainly empty. A plate sat on the second shelf of... Ugh, what is that smell? I picked up the plate that seemed to have some kind of white substance on it with soft carrots and a greenish sauce. Why does it smell so bad? Actually, a better question is, what the hell is it? My face squinted in desperation to close my nose. Damn it, I wish I could plug it, but I can't while holding this. Eve really can't cook. Eve, what is this thing? I called through the house. It's food, duh, she spat. This is not food. I'm pretty sure I just saw it move, I gagged. Blah. I was thinking the same thing, I replied, walking up the stairs to Alice's room. I kicked her door in a way to knock. Alice, I brought you... food? There was no reply. I kicked again. Are you okay? I mean, Eve says you do this kind of thing all the time, but it's been 6 days. Still nothing. Alice, I don't actually like you, but are you okay? I asked again. I can't help but be a little worried. Huh? Her voice called from behind the closed door. The sound of paper and metal moving filled my ears as she moved around her room. The wooden door opened to reveal a mess of hair and sleepless eyes. Alice stood in a black bra that seemed slightly too small for her breast and spandex shorts. Her hair looked like a horde of rats nested within it. I noticed a patch of dry drool on her left cheek. Ugh, why you? She slurred as if she were drunk. I brought food, I repeated for the 3rd time. I shut my eyes tightly, noticing that she was nearly naked. Could you put on some clothes, please? Huh? Alice took the tray of food from my hand before finishing. Nah, it's more fun to watch you squirm. I parted my eyes slightly to see the forbiddances of her room. It was larger than mine, but smaller than Hal's and Eve's. Paper wads, wrappers, general garbage, and scrap metal covered her floor. She's messier than me. The mess continued its path across the carpet. I think it's a light brown carpet to the bed. The covers were purple, much like her toenails, with holes scattered through the fabric. The walls, much like the rest of the house, were a white coloring with stains from the teen's use. Alice's walls, however, were almost entirely covered by plans, drawings, blueprints, and notes. The only other pieces of furniture in the room were a dark brown dresser and a broken fan. My eyes shot back over to her bed, that was covered in paper birds along with the empty box given by the killer. "What exactly have you been doing all this time?" I questioned, and my eyes opened fully. "Oh, you're still here." She took a large bite out of the white creation Eve had made. Alice's face turned slightly green as she covered her mouth with her hand, before swallowing the substance. "That girl really can't cook," she gagged, setting the plate on the floor. "Hey, Blank, how long have I been in here?" "Hal's not here," I joked. "It wasn't funny when he did it, and that sure as hell hasn't changed with you," she snapped, sending a chilling look towards me. 6 days, I replied quickly. "Ah, you came too early. I had enough protein bars for 8 days. Of course you'd ruin it," she sighed and laid flat on her bed. "A second ago you seemed more than happy to eat, and now you're cursing me? You tried to poison me. Did you expect a thank you?" "Poison you?" I spat in surprise. She pointed to the food. "I didn't know Eve had the cooking skills of a rug," I responded. "Anyway, what exactly have you been doing in here for the last week?" I asked. "Making birdies. Turns out, that's exactly what he wanted. Origami is an art much like engineering. I'd take a simple piece of material and turn it into something completely different. Sounds more like witchcraft to me." She continued. "Birdie is a specific folding pattern in which I create swans from the paper. I've turned each of the papers given to us into birdies, and with it, I've obtained the following numbers: 6, 9, 14, and 1. Turns out when folded, the black lines correctly line up to make these numbers. Now several of them hold the same number, so I'm not sure what that means. I'll check with Eve and Hal on that, and, Alice? Are you gonna put on a shirt anytime soon?" "Nah. It's funnier this way," she smiled, a devilish grin. "I wouldn't say funny, though I will admit this is entertaining," I grinned. Her face turned a fiery red. She quickly grabbed her blanket, covering herself in embarrassment. "Get out now!" she yelled. I followed her command, laughing slightly as I shut her door behind me. I think I'm getting used to this world. Or maybe I just snapped like the rest of them. I walked down the hall to Eve's room. I knocked before entering. "Hey, Eve, do you know anything about these what the hell are you doing?" I ran into her room, over to the girl who lay limp across her carpet. I kneeled quickly, holding her head up. Her eyes just stared off into space without even noticing me. "Eve, what's wrong? Can you hear me?" I tapped her face slightly in an attempt to get a response from her. I could feel panic taking over as she didn't move. I placed my hand against her wrist, searching for a pulse. "Eve? Eve, answer me!" I began to shout. I felt a slow beat from her skin, releasing some of the terror from my mind. "At least she's alive." "Alice!" I cried. I picked the pink-haired girl up from her carpet, throwing her over my shoulder. My eyes went to the floor where she had laid. 2 clear shots rested against the white. Drugs? I ran from Eve's room to Alice's door, kicking it frantically. "Alice, it's Eve!" Yeah, pervert," she growled, opening her door, now fully dressed. Terror filled her face as fast as it hit my own. "We have to get her to Territory 2. Now," Alice commanded, taking charge. I nodded with fear as to what was happening. Alice ran down the stairs with me following close behind her. I'm sure Hal's going to be confused when he gets back and the house is empty. Oh, I can explain it later. But right now, we need to go. I just hope we're in time. Hang on, Eve. Hang on, I begged.